Interpersonal skills. So, do they appreciate the need for collaboration? Do they appreciate the fact that conflict does not get handled only in one way, but there are many ways of managing conflict situations? Communication impact, extremely important. Thinking through how do they solve for opportunities or problems that are there. Those are some of the things that I think. Energy. Someone who may be absolutely textbook right, but who doesn't have high energy, I don't want them in my team. What else?
Any finance students? Please ask questions.
Well, I know we are at 11 o'clock, which was the time that this was meant to get over.
Madam, one last
Sorry,
question.
please.
I also, the operations word in a services company has a different connotation, right?
Yes.
So what does operations actually entail in a services company?
So when you're talking about services, are you talking about something like an ITES context, like a Genpact and
Or a
and
GCC,
things like that?
anyone?
Right? So in these, when you look at these companies, operations are the people who actually deliver, right? They are the ones who, for example, are running processes. If you have outbound call centers or inbound call centers, India is the largest hub of global capability centers, right? We had about 16,000 in 16,000 global capability centers in 2023. 19,000 global capability centers is the estimate in 2024, and we're going to go to about 500,000 capability centers by 2040. So, which means that our propensity to also employ people is going up, which is fantastic, right? But when you look at global capability centers, no longer is it the back office BPO of 15 years ago. So I still remember when I joined Genpact, at that time Pramod Bhasin was still active, though Tiger had taken over as the CEO. Now, of course, BK has taken over, so it's one more generation. But Pramod used to love to share the fact that because it was a new industry that had been set up, so Genpact urban legend is they would actually say that trespassers on office premises will be hired, right? Because they were looking at new skills. And who did they hire maximum from? Hospitality graduates. Why? Because operations required you to have a certain finesse in dealing with customers, right? Doing those calls, etc. So in a services context, operations is about outreach to customers, delivering value, getting things done, all of that. Yeah? Sorry, you had a question.
My question is very simple. When the things are changing, sorry, I'm an employee of university, but then also I'm telling universities are providing degrees, right? Students are going for degrees, not for the knowledge, right? When the entire era of AI is changing, people, industry even is little bit confused what to do, what not to do, right? World leaders are also confused. Israel में क्या चल रहा है, कहाँ क्या चल रहा है, everyone. In that case, what do you suggest? How do the students go for?
Yeah.
What path they should take?
Yeah, it's a great question, and my simple submission would be, don't try to find certainty. We don't have the luxury of certainty in our lives, right? I think the biggest strength and the biggest, the reason why I have so much of respect for a university education is because when you come into a university, then you are not an individual who's only thinking about your own growth. You have an ecosystem that is thinking about your growth, and that will always strengthen you, right? My submission to every university, to the management, to the faculty body is, don't put hard and fast norms for your students to follow. Let them explore, right? Because honestly, organizational realities are such that we struggle when people come in with hard and fast norms. We need people to be, in a way, fluid in their thinking, in their intelligence, right? We happen, and in India this happens, that we get so used to rules, right? Ghar pe parents, then you come into schools and colleges where your faculty tells you this is the way, this is the way. Why is that the way? Who said it's the way? Right? Now, the second we run with that way only, we are creating very narrow perspectives. And organizations don't deal with that because managers will give direction. They're not going to say this is the way only. And therefore, it becomes very challenging for students to become professionals. That transition from campus to corporate is a big one. Because you're so used to being told, aise karo, ye karo, ye karo, ye karo, that suddenly you are told that this is the end that you have to hit, figure it out. That whole journey of figuring it out is a stressful journey, right? And for students, I would say that it's up to you. I think gone are those days where we thought of students as children. These are not adult to children relationships. These are adult to adult relationships. Respect them to make their choices. So some people, for example, will come into university because they really believe that that will set them up for life. They will take out of that experience whatever they can. And with the right kind of mentoring, that enabling environment, they will take something more, something less. Some may have come in to enjoy the experience. Okay, you're embedding life skills in them. Some may have come in just because their parents can afford to send them for that experience. That's also okay. Hopefully, they'll take something back. If nothing else, then in my father's business, I will respect the professional because I don't have the ability to do it this way. Right? All of that is okay. But taking the moral high ground on everything sometimes limits. Right? Let them learn, let them figure out, let them fail. It's good to fail. It sets you up to either say, this is where I am and this is where I'm comfortable to be, or it sets you up to say, this is where I am, but I'm not okay to be here. The biggest challenge today when we look at our ecosystem is there is no gratitude. There's no gratitude. Because there is no opportunity to feel gratitude naturally, right? If your parents are creating opportunities for you, you're also constantly hearing, "Tumhare liye itna kiya hai." So how do you naturally feel gratitude? If your faculty is enabling you with learning and placements, you're still hearing, "Tumhare liye itna kiya hai." How do you feel gratitude? Even when you work with your batchmates, I've done this for you, you owe me one. How do you feel gratitude? So if I have one submission from the world of academia, it is let human beings rediscover that they are human first. Right? Resources later. Because we really need that in the world. We're going through chaos. Look at the sustainability crisis that we have on our hands. Look at the kind of world challenges that we have on our hands. A lot of this is a crisis of ethics. And that is because we have been driving people so hard against scales that were so tight. You are successful if you hit this. You're not successful if you haven't achieved this kind of salary or hit this kind of organization. Or, when I graduated from MDI, I was 24 years old and my picture of success was very clear. I had to be a partner at a Big Four before I was 40. When I was 38, I was at PwC. I was a managing director, 3 months away from being a partner. And I said, I don't want to do this anymore. It doesn't give me joy. And I left that and I joined S&P. Best decision I took in my life. My ecosystem told me, you're out of your mind. You'll be a partner. That's how the world will know. I said, yeah, but what about what I know? When did the world's voice become more important than my own voice? So, help students listen to their own voice. I think that will be a game changer. Sorry, slightly long, but
No.
heartfelt.
Very nice. I think. Very nice.
Well, all the best. I think it's the beginning of an exciting journey. I know everybody says that when they come to talk to you, but it really is an exciting journey. And I hope I hope you make the most of it in a way that resonates most with you. Because when they say that time won't come back, it really won't. So have fun, enjoy the journey, and make something along the way. Sorry.
Excuse me, can we get a 2-minute orientation from you? Like what type of questions do you ask in an interview? Can we get a small orientation of it?
What type of questions to ask in an interview?
Just being a recruiter, but
For you to ask,
no,
No,
for
no,
you
no.
to
He's
ask.
asking what kind of questions you will ask.
I would ask for, so it depends on what stage. If, for example, I'm trying to understand what is your understanding of the domain. Let's be honest, no recruiter who comes in expects you to be an expert on your functional domain, right? But they do expect, everybody expects you to understand the basic principles. So on a, when you're doing technical rounds, recruiters are also human beings. We also enjoy watching others falter, right? So we love asking all these tricky questions. Our intent is not to trick you. Our intent is to understand, do you know? Or do you genuinely not know? Right? So the kind of questions around functional domain could be, if for example your CV says that you have done a summer internship in a particular space, to understand that a little bit more, right? To understand adjacent areas to that, or if you've written that certain type of area is of interest to you, why? What do you understand about it, etc. So that would be a technical kind of round, right? When you're doing interpersonal conversations, like I told you, the characteristics that I would look for, right? You would want to understand, so how do you work with the team? Can you share a particular project that you were working with a team that was challenging for you? How did you approach it? What did you do differently? You may be put through different kinds of team scenarios, right? Sometimes even that is part of the assessment. You may be asked to respond to a psychometric instrument. When it comes to cracking an interview, don't bother cracking it. Enjoy the process. Be authentic, be easy. Because when you create stress for yourself, frankly, the recruiter is not enjoying that conversation.
Also, collected confidence that both the guys are sitting.
So what? They go to there. You are where you are for some reason, right? If you don't have confidence in yourself, why should anybody else have confidence in you? So either you are giving that interview just for the sake of getting a job, which is a 50-50. Sometimes you get it, sometimes you miss it. Or you really believe that that organization may help you really learn and may help you contribute more meaningfully. So understand the organization, understand the context, ask questions. Don't sit silently. It really doesn't work. Thank you.